Let's be honest. I'm 60 years old. I have earned every laugh line, every wrinkle, and every gray hair. But that doesn't mean I don't want to age well. So when my friend Melissa Lott, registered nurse and aesthetic specialist, started talking about lasers, microneedling, Botox, fillers, collagen stimulators, and all the things available today, I realized I had no clue where to start. If you've ever wondered what's hype, what's worth the money, and what actually works, today's episode is for you.
It's a beautiful chaos, this roller coaster ride. The ups, the downs are spinning all around inside. It's a beautiful chaos. Sometimes I love, sometimes I hate. Have to pause, renegotiate, but with gratitude I appreciate this beautiful chaos.
Welcome to Beautiful Chaos. I'm Tammy Ramsey, and I'm here with my friend Melissa Lott. And today's episode is Aging with Joy, what really works for aging skin. Like nobody really knows, but welcome, and thanks for being on the show today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because I feel like I've been watching some podcasts and a couple of things. I was always the one that like washed my face at night, washed my face in the morning with full-on soap and did all the things. And then a podcast said, no, you just wash your face once. Is that an accurate statement, do you think? What's the trick here, Melissa?
I feel like skincare is very personal. So that could be an accurate statement if you're not out in the dirt and the grime and oily, sweating all day. But if you do a full-on workout, have oil, dirt, you're playing out in the garden, then probably washing twice a day would be more accurate. So it really depends on your activities, your daily hygiene, what you're doing, just knowing your skin and when it needs refreshed. So.
Well, you go out and do anything ranching around here,
Right.
and you definitely have to wash your face.
I need to get the dirt off.
Yeah. So, can you explain to us what happens to our skin as we age? Because I really feel like that as we hit certain decades in our lives, I've noticed just huge changes in my skin. And like 60 was a big one that all of a sudden it was like, oh, I have jowls. Oh, I have bags under my eyes. So can you help us to understand what's going on in our faces?
Yes. I thought that was the most interesting thing of the training. Having been a nurse for a long time, we don't focus a lot on the aging changes of your face and structure in medicine, and getting into aesthetics was interesting because just like the rest of our body, we start to have bone loss. So your cheekbones, your orbital bones, your chin recedes. Those bones also shrink, and that makes your skin a little bit more lax. So if we go through the layers, bones number one, and then collagen and elastin, right?
Right.
That reduces with age. Things like how much time you spent in the sun, tanning when you were younger,
and
all
we were
catches
on the
up
foil.
to you with age.
Yeah,
right.
we were on the foil with all the oil.
Smoking. I could list my 20s and tell you all the things that will increase your aging of your skin, and that will be that. Then also fat pads. You lose fat with age, and it's not things that you can control. Bones and fat pads you can't control. That's the things you're talking about. Everybody starts to see their cheeks aren't as prominent. They're flatter. Your eyes are a little bit sunken. There's deep fat pads, and then there's superficial fat pads, and both of those change with age. The deep ones shrink and go away, and that's where you can add volume to your cheeks. And then the superficial ones, where you're saying your jowls, they fluff up, reduce, and then they go down your face also with that skin laxity. So multiple layers of things happen when you age, and so different treatments affect different parts of that aging process.
Okay, so basically what I hear is you just fall apart and
yes, slowly everything
is declining. I mean, it's true. And so we can work on our bodies nutritionally and strength-wise for our bodies, but how do we recreate collagen? How do we, what are some options? Like if I had fillers in my cheeks, would that plump my face enough to raise my skin? Is that kind of how fillers work? How do fillers work?
Sure.
I'm jumping ahead of everything we're doing.
This is great. These are the kind of questions when you sit down with somebody and consult, all the questions come out just like this. Yeah. So fillers are going deep down on the bone. So those places where you lose your bone density and you start to see the non-prominence, and you can see that by the lack of glow on your skin, where it used to have a shine over your cheekbone, now it's very flat. Fillers go deep down on the bone on your cheek or chin, and then they build that prominence back up where the bones receded. So they don't necessarily build elastin and collagen, they just rebuild that deepness. Fillers also can go in deep wrinkles as one of the solutions. So a lot of people get those 11 lines. Some people get them much worse than others. And a lot of that's genetics and muscle. Like people with really strong eye muscles that make great expressions end up with really deep lines. And sometimes all of the treatments in the world aren't going to completely fix that. And you want that one perfect show. A little bit of superficial filler will go in and fill those lines, which fillers a lot of hyaluronic acid, which is natural in your body. And it breaks down over time. So maybe 6 months to a year. It's not a permanent solution, but it's one of those like, can I get rid of these for a fancy event or just to feel better about myself and glow? So different levels of filler do different things in your body, but those are the two main ones I would say. Deep wrinkles that you really want to pop out, and then deep on the bone, inner nose fossa, like you're saying, if you want those lines to create, it fills those spaces that naturally recede with age and gives you back that youthful plumpness, I guess.
Youthful plumpness. Which, for me sometimes came from weight gain. But now I'm on the weight loss phase. And that's, I feel like, also has something to do with my face kind of.
It does, yes.
Sagging. It's like, well, we had all this.
The fat is good in the face.
Yes.
And not everywhere else.
Right.
So we have to replace it.
It's too bad they just can't.
Yeah.
Can we create?
Neck down.
Suck the fat out of the cheeks of my butt and put them in my cheeks on my face.
And they do that. Plastic surgeons alone do fat transplant, but not Melissa.
Yeah, and I don't want to go there. So okay, if you look at my face, what changes are you seeing that are normal aging? I feel like I'm aging well, but it could be a lie I'm telling myself, because I do have, if I don't smile, I don't have a lot of wrinkles. I've always been like that 11 thing that you said. I'm always aware of, don't make this face, because if you make that face, it's going to stick and you're going to deepen those lines. So I'm always pretty aware of, nope, don't do that. But so when you look at me, so when I smile, then it's like all of a sudden you have all the laugh lines, you have all these, and I have been working. Did you have a chance to look up that information I sent you?
I did.
Okay.
For sure.
So we're going to jump into that for a hot second, because I really felt like all my laugh lines were like, okay, that's okay. That's like my reward for being a happy person, right? So I'm just going to love me for me. And then the jowls started coming on, and I had little saddlebags down here, and I'm like, oh, I can't have that happening. Like, that's something I'm not comfortable with. And so I got this Ceranova.com, went on there and started using their microneedling kit. And it does have hyaluronic acid filler. So what is your opinion of that? Because this is my 8th week, and I do feel like it has been tightening this up, but like I go over it 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also I bought a home dermal roller, same system. That one's a punch system. And then you have the microneedling dermal rollers before I got into aesthetics and thought, this is great. It makes sense. It causes micro injuries. Yeah. And yes, is it medical grade? No. But does it have good benefits? Yes. So the big difference between a medical grade microneedling and a home system that you buy, I would say the system you bought is much better than the rollers, because the rollers, the microneedles, they bend and they tear at your skin. And a punch system with the needles, it does cause like little micro injuries to your skin. And then that hyaluronic acid serum, which is what most of them have in there, is a hydrator, so a plumper.
Oh, okay.
Which is great.
I didn't understand what that was.
Medical wise, that's the same with most of the home kits. The biggest difference between what you get with your home kits and what you get with a medical grade microneedling is the depth of the needle and penetration for boosting that collagen and elastin. Because home rollers are regulated, it's 0.3 or 0.5, I couldn't tell you the exact mils, on what they'll allow because of the risk of injury. And different parts of your face have different thicknesses of skin. So Will it work? Absolutely. You feel a little bit firmer. Does it cause little micro injuries? Yes, it helps penetrate that hyaluronic acid. You will see effects in the glowingness of your skin and a little bit of tightness. But if you're looking at rejuvenation, you're not getting deep enough into that second, the dermis. You're in the epidermis, and you may tickle in some parts of your face, the epidermis, or dermis, but most of the time you're not getting deep enough to do that. But yes, effective. Is it going to help you and make your skin glow and feel better? Yes. Is it going to do the same depth of treatment as a medical one? No, only because of the regulations for safety.
Right. Well, I like that. So then going medical grade, the benefit would be that it is hitting that deeper dermis. Is that what you call it? Okay, because there's several layers to this face of ours, to our skin, and so that would that also maybe last longer than, or is it about the same? Like this deal is 2-week treatments. Like you go in for 2-week treatments, and I don't know at what point you stop because I got a 3-month supply. So
yeah,
I know I'm in it for 3 months.
I think the initial one, even with microneedling with somebody that's never done it, if they bought, and it's expensive, right? Skincare is expensive, and that's what scares us all. What do I really want out of it?
Yeah.
What is
how
best
bad
for
do
me?
I want it?
Yeah, and everybody's why is different, right?
Right.
You're like, I love my facial expressions and my lines, and I don't ever try and tell somebody, I think we should fix this about you, because some of it is your expression and your happiness and all the things you gained with love and age.
Yes.
But microneedling won't treat you in one session. That's very true.
Right.
So we would say if you do 3 sessions, 4 to 6 weeks apart, that will give you the best benefit. And then try and keep upgrading, keeping it up to date like once or twice a year.
Okay.
Similar to a lot of skin services, you need to keep up with them annually or twice a year. You do the bulk of them at the beginning to really rejuvenate your skin, and then maintenance is always the key. The one caveat to that is the lasers, which we'll get into later, which has a lot longer benefit, but it is also a lot costlier. So cost, longevity, it's all things that's very personal to you and what you mostly want out of your skin.
Right. And I've noticed a lot of people that are like my age and older, they don't even wear makeup. And I'm like, that's great for them. And maybe if I had pretty skin, but I have never had pretty skin. I've always had big pores, and I don't know. I just don't, feel like I have to hide the skin. So let's talk about retinol and vitamin C, because I feel like you can get a lot of retinols and vitamin C stuff over the counter, or there's a lot of different products out in the world, and you can spend $20 to $800 or $900 on a at-home skin care system. So talk to me about retinol and vitamin C, and at what age should people start utilizing these products?
Okay, that's a perfect question. And at 45, I'm like, bummer. Wish I would have known somebody that told me that before, while I was sunbathing and smoking and doing all the things that I shouldn't be for my skin. 25 to 30, depending on your skin, when you start to see little fine lines and wrinkles from those natural expressions, is when you truly should start using a retinol and vitamin C product, because that's when you first start losing that natural progression of elastin and collagen. And so you are trying to ward off the loss of that. So late 20s is kind of the golden standard.
So I'm going to back up a second. Well, first off, we couldn't have told ourselves, and nobody could have told us anything in our 20s. Let's be real, right? We knew it all. We knew it all from the time we were maybe 16. We thought we knew it all then. But let me just back up a second. So you're telling me that at 25 or younger, I could have been using retinol and vitamin C, and that would have helped promote the health of my collagen?
I know.
Oh, you do just want to go back in the time machine and just kick yourself in the butt and say, no, listen, Linda.
The next generation will benefit.
Pass this on to your kids. Don't tell them. Just share this episode and be like.
Stocking stuffers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get them that for stocking stuffers. I love that idea. That's what I'm doing this year.
Yep.
So what are some other things that people... Well, let's talk about this. What products are worth spending money on, and what is marketing hype?
Sure. So retinols, there's a million different products, right? You can go to Costco and you can get the Rock C. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Is it olive olay?
Okay.
There's an olive olay.
So retinols come in all shapes and sizes, like Tammy was saying. You have the drugstore versions of the Roxy or Roxy oil of Olay.
Yeah.
Then you have a little bit different. If you go to Ulta in the specialty beauty stores, you can get the, oh gosh, I'm really wordy. La Roche-Posay.
That's a step up. That would be like a step up from, because I feel like it would go olive olay, the Roxy, and then what did you just say?
Yep, Skin Medica or La Roche-Posay are middle ground. But really the active ingredient in them is what matters the most. So the retinol, encapsulated retinol will be easier on your skin because it's timed released. So you put it on, it's not as harsh on the barrier, your skin barrier, where as we age, our thin skin is a little bit more sensitive to retinols. And then when you get into the more expensive products, like the two brands, Zoe, I might need to look at my Skin Better. Oh, okay. When you get into the more expensive brands like Zoe products or Skin Better, they have specialty formulas developed by scientists that have active ingredients like protecting the skin at the same time as you have the retinol treatment. So can you get the same results with over-the-counter treatments? Yes. But knowing your retinols is very important because if you buy it in a glass jar or a tub, retinol is sensitive to the sun and it will denature and it won't be as effective on your skin. So anybody that's selling a retinol in a glass jar or a tub, nope, it's oxidated, it's exposed to the sun and the air, it's no longer effective. But most of these products we're talking about, the manufacturers aren't making them in those. There's been a few that you see that are, but those are more the drugstore brands. The other thing is the encapsulated retinol and sensitivity. You can't go. I made this huge mistake when I was probably late 20s, early 30s with all of my young choices. And I thought, I need skincare. So I brought every active. I bought vitamin C. I bought a retinol. I bought a microdermabrasion face wash. I went up to Washington to see my husband and I was red as a lobster. And he says, Melissa, what did you do? And I was like, I'm trying to do some skin treatments. Like, I need to do this. And I say that because I didn't know any better. And I was like, I'm going to be young again. So it's really important with retinols especially. And I'm happy to chat with anybody about that if they want to try something. Because depending on your skin sensitivity, if you have eczema, different products will be better for you. But always, always, always start slow. Try it once a week. See how your skin reacts because it will be sensitive. It will peel. Starting retinols is like a marathon. It is not an instant overnight success. And a lot of people stop using them because they're like, oh my gosh, it damaged my skin. It was super red and it flaked off. And it's probably because you used too much too soon. So start once a week, do that for a week or two. When you feel like your skin's handling that well, move to twice a week until you'll slowly build up to every day of the week. And then percentages of retinol, 0.5%, 0.2%, up to 1%, medical grade. And the best of the best is tretinoin, which is prescribed also as an acne treatment that you can get from your medical provider. But you need to have very good skin health and longevity on your retinols before you move into those advanced products.
I did that once.
Steps.
Yeah, I did that once in I think it was my mid 30s, the prescription one. Mm-hmm. And I did and it was like totally red and you can't wear makeup. I do, right? Like when you do a treatment like that, you have to just give yourself grace and you can't wear makeup. I mean, you can wear eye stuff, of course, but yeah, you don't want to mess with your face because I'm terrible at, not reading instructions all the way through. So I've done some really stupid things to my skin and then gone back and read the instructions and went, oh, I did everything wrong.
Yes. So try it on a Saturday night.
Yes.
And always do it at night. Don't use your retinols in the morning because it's sun sensitive. It will actually irritate your skin. So it's a nightly routine. Vitamin C is in the morning. It's an antioxidant. It protects you from the UV radicals, and it also is an enzyme that helps produce the elastin and collagen.
So what about skin? So medical grade? Medical grade. Is there a treatment that infuses you with retinol or I don't know. No, just the prescription retinol would be the strongest on top of that.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Just questions?
Yeah. No, and I always still have questions. I don't know everything. So when somebody asks me a question, I'm like, I have no idea. You got
I'll figure
reference a friend.
Yeah.
Call a derm person.
Okay, so now let's talk about the photofacial. What is it called? IPL? What is?
Yeah, intense photo light therapy or photofacial, same thing. So it's using light spectrum to target pigmentation in your skin. So it's a light laser that targets pigmentation like melasma, dark spots, sunspots, aging.
So it's covered up pretty good. You can probably see it. They might not be able to see it, but I have Malaysia here and a little on this side. And then, of course, I'm freckled everywhere.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was just my Scottish genes.
No.
I didn't know. Skin damage, right?
Sun damage. Yep. Sometimes genetic. Some people get it after pregnancy. There's a million different reasons why you can get those dark spots on your face. But the photofacial is amazing. A lot of people ask, can you do it one time and then it's gone? And it's kind of like everything else aesthetics. Maybe. Depends on the depth of that color pigmentation in your skin. Is it all just superficial in your epidermis? Absolutely, maybe, because the skin will, or the laser will go down and it will zap that melatonin. No, melanin.
Melanin.
The
Yes.
laser will go zap the melanin, and then it will come out like coffee grounds as it breaks up. Same thing with little tiny blood vessels. A lot of people struggle with age and they get little broken capillaries in their skin, and that's the makeup coverage. They want that. And that same photofacial laser will treat all of those pigmentation problems, whether it's from blood vessels or that. It breaks them up and then it disintegrates them out the skin. So up to 2 or 3, 6 weeks apart treatments usually make people with pigmentation problems super happy. Get that glowing. It doesn't do anything for collagen and elastin. That's
Right.
Photofacials are color.
Yeah. So, but does it totally take all your pigment out? Like, would I lose any color to my face, or would I maintain? Well, all right. Let's just be real. If I showed you my bikini spots or my non-tan lines, you'd be like, dang, you'd be such a white girl. And my skin is so white, and I feel like with my gray hair, like so white would be like a ghost looking thing. But anyway, so what does it make your face like super white, or what does it do? Does it leave some pigment?
You'll always have some pigment in your skin, and you will develop it, but it will take those dark spots away. You can do a complete photofacial if you have it throughout, or you can just do targeted treatments on the spots that bother you.
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that because I definitely want to look at that. But I know that for me, even when I'm outside, I try to wear a hat, but I'm not always perfect. So my fear, if I were to do something like that, because right now would be, it's June. It's June. And I would, it's almost July.
It's coming.
It's coming. But I would be afraid that if I were to do that photofacial, that I would ultimately be out in the sun and just waste every dime that I put into that and probably cause more damage if I were to do. So that's probably something that would be better in like October, November-ish.
Yep. We do definitely do them in the summer, but you have to be that person that's willing to wear a hat and put your sunscreen on every single day. And so if that's not you and you're like, I'm ready to play on the beach and oops, I get a sunburn, not for you until the sun goes down, probably. Okay. That's fair.
Okay. Darn it. Okay. But knowing yourself is also very good.
Will you do it?
So let's talk. Did we already kind of talk collagen stimulators? Because we talked about the hyaluronic acid.
Yep, hyaluronic acid fillers are different than the collagen stimulators.
Okay.
So there's 2 different ones. There's Radius and then there's Sculptra. And they're biostimulators. So they are products that go either deep or up to the surface of your skin to stimulate collagen over long term. And it involves a lot of product rubbing. It's like 5-5-5. 5 times a day you go in after it's integrated into your skin and you have to rub it in. And that alone, the biomechanics of it, stimulate that collagen reproduction over a 6-month period, but a lot longer lasting. You can see results from that up to 2 years. Unlike hyaluronic acid that your body naturally absorbs, though, they're like calcium products and others that take a lot longer to degrade within your body. So, but
okay, so a little long lasting. So I'm going to assume that probably costs a little more than the hyaluronic acid type of. Yeah. Okay, but that's an option. That's an option if you're looking for that.
And maybe something down the road, like if you want to see how much boost you can get, you try a hyaluronic acid filler and think, oh, I really love that, or I didn't feel like it made that big of a difference. If you loved it, maybe you do something a little bit longer lasting and go with one of those that will give you more longevity of
looking healthier in your face. So what about Botox and fillers? Now I'm like a fear of Botox.
Yes.
Well, for two things. I love my facial expressions.
Yes.
That is me. That's just part of who I am. So I don't want to get rid of my facial expressions. And I feel like
Right.
that can be a thing, right? Because it's actually like making your muscles release, like freezing your muscle. What is it doing?
Yes.
What is it doing?
It is a muscle relaxer. So right now I am fully Botoxed, right? And so I have expressions and I can speak.
Yes.
Do I naturally, can I wrinkle my forehead? No.
No.
Absolutely not. Why? Because I have really deep wrinkles in my forehead. If your camera was zoomed in on me, I still have fine lines and wrinkles in my forehead from a long time of moving those muscles. But all the muscles that we Botox, like the 11s are the most popular in the forehead. For some reason, we are locally drawn to people right in their face. What we do with Botox is dose dependent, is how much you're freezing somebody in placement.
Oh.
In different muscles, like your procerus muscle and, oh, I'm going to forget the name of it. Anyway, different muscles in your face, like...
It's okay.
Different
You don't need
muscles-
to know the name because none of us are going to remember.
different
it,
muscles
no.
in your face.
Like these upper muscles.
Yes. When they pull your forehead for the frontalis muscle, it wrinkles your forehead. When you make an expression and lift your eyebrows,
Right.
right? It
That's
wrinkles.
utilizing those muscles.
Right. So Botox,
Oh.
you wouldn't Botox somebody. We always check them for expression. So if you make a scally face and you draw those procerus muscles in deep and it lines and you have static lines are the ones that stay on your face.
Like
Even when
these.
you're just sitting here naturally pretty. And if you draw those lines in, if we put Botox in those muscles, it just weakens the muscles so that when you do frown, they don't draw as strongly. And the stronger your muscle pulls, the more over time those wrinkles will deepen.
So let's look at.
So Frozen is a great point. Tammy's scared of Frozen. Everyone's scared of Frozen. So
Yes.
that's my plug for everybody's like, chase the Botox, chase the best deal. And I'm always like, do that, but I might not be your person, because if I know that you're super worried about losing every one of your smile lines and your ability to like make an eyebrow at somebody,
Yeah.
and then you go to somebody else, they were going to be chasing what dose is right for you, how to not make you frozen. And Botox, let's be real, it only lasts 3 to 6 months. So if you get frozen once and you back up on the dosage, then you can keep your expressions but reduce that ability to make those deeper lines as we age. But by moving people that you inject with, they never get to really know your face and what you really like as far as expressions and non-expressions. But it is a scary thing because everybody's seen that person that's like, how are you today? Would you like to go to dinner? And we can't move our face. Is it a risk? Absolutely. But I say the fear of that, knowing that it wears out and it naturally is absorbed and you will get every single expression on your face back within 5 to 6 months. Just do it cautiously, get to know your provider, and stick with the same person so they can tailor it just to you. But it really will, as far as bang for your buck, if you follow podcasts with plastic surgeons, dermatologists. Weakening those muscles that create those deep lines is one of the biggest things you can do when you're younger to prevent them from ever forming long term.
So if I'd only known.
Yes.
Back years ago. And we kind of talked about, so I'm not as afraid of that, by the way.
Yeah.
And I would like to, so I used to smoke when I was younger.
Yeah, me too.
And I suck on straws all the time, like the small straws. I think that did it also, but I have really deep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about, would this be a filler situation? Would that be, how could I get rid of those really deepest, even just the deepest ones?
Sure. I'll give you 3 different things real quick. So a laser treatment, right, that gets deep down into that base layer of your dermis would be the best, because that will produce that collagen and elastin from down below, cause that skin damage and rejuvenation. And then also Botox will soften the lines. It's an investment, though. You have to keep coming back and doing it, because that muscle, there's a sphincter muscle around your mouth. And like you said, exactly, when you smoke, when you suck on straws, it's really active and it forms those lines. And putting little dots of Botox there relaxes that muscle. But for people that sing and articulate, it might be annoying. So I say, do you want to try it? Try it when you don't have a big vocal performance and see if it bothers you linguistically. I did it to myself. I have those same lines, and I put a little Botox in my big smoker lines, and it did soften the lines a lot. But I don't have a vocal talent, so I wasn't bothered when I had to get used to it being a little bit desensitized, where I was used to being able to
having
form the
more
words.
control over that.
Yeah, and then filler is the other option for sure. But
Yeah, but filler doesn't last as long as probably the laser
Right.
and the Botox. I mean, you're still getting Botox.
Yeah.
So this laser thing, this is what really spurred me to be like, we need to get you on this podcast and talk about this, because like I didn't know there was all these options, and I love that you gave us some options that were like some over the counter things that we can do to kind of help our skin along the way, and then I love that we're doing some deep diving into some medical treatments as well. So thanks for that. So what's the difference between cool peel and deep CO2? We're talking lasers.
Perfect. Lasers.
No,
I
nothing.
love lasers.
Yeah.
And same, about 5 years ago is when I was introduced to lasers. And I thought, well, that's a bummer. I wish I would have had one of those before. So cool peel is just the depth of the laser.
Okay.
It gives you less downtime if you're not willing to be out like a medical treatment for up to 2 weeks. Healing, oozing, swelling, less swelling, but also less depth. Cool peel doesn't go as deep.
Okay.
And you may need more treatments. I would say the deeper your wrinkles and the older you are, you're going to head more towards a deep CO2 laser or multiple cool peel lasers. But cool peel versus deep CO2 is just the depth.
So a cool peel I could do and still film a podcast in 2 weeks. But a deep CO2, I might want to be like, we take about 4 to 6 weeks off over the holidays.
Okay.
We'll start back up in January. So like that would be maybe a time to be doing a deep
cool peel, you
CO2.
could be back to work in 5 to 6 days.
Okay.
You could wear products over top of it because you're not causing as much injury. The deep CO2 within 2 weeks. Like,
okay.
Even at that, everybody heals a little bit differently, but we're very, very cautious for the first week. You can't wear makeup. You can't go out in the sun. You get really swollen, oozy, but it's kind of fun because you also see the results like coming out of your skin. It is skin injury, but with injury gives the healing, right? Which is what gives you that matrix and that fluffiness of your skin that you want back.
Yeah. It's almost like if you're building muscle, you have to tear down the muscle to actually build the muscle. So this is like your skin.
It's all the same.
My word. Okay. That just like totally clicked for me on a whole nother level. So is there anyone that should avoid a laser type procedure, whether it's cool or deep?
Yep. Everybody with autoimmune diseases needs to consult with their physician. Anybody with an active skin problem, if you have really bad eczema, open sores, wounds. A big thing is herpes. We always make you pre-treat. If you're prone to cold sores, you need to start taking that, because anything we do on the face that causes injury will naturally give you that. Diabetics, if you're uncontrolled in your wound healing. So if you have any type of medical condition where healing is hindered or you have a high risk of infection, you would want to consider it. But we do a big intake form. All medical aesthetic providers should do an intake form that makes you list all of your diseases and medications that you're on, so we can safely evaluate, what you should and shouldn't take when you have it, or if you're really realistically a candidate for it, because we would never want to do more harm than good.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So, question when you say that. I started this health journey January 25, and at the time my blood work showed fibromyalgia somewhere. That was like one of my tests. I don't know what one it was really, but it was like, you're right there at fibromyalgia. And I had a lot of inflammation, and I was allergic to a lot of foods and all the things. So that's an autoimmune disease, correct?
Fibromyalgia?
Yeah. And so, but I've changed the way I'm eating. So nutritionally, I feel like I'm more sound. My blood sugar's under control. My inflammation is under control. So if it's something like that, and all of you've worked hard physically, mentally, nutritionally to better yourself. And I haven't retested for that because I'm like, why waste the money? Right? Yes, I feel fabulous. So would I still be a candidate for? Okay, yep. So I'm good.
And that's the big thing, even with diabetes, as long as you're under control. Right. So you don't want to do it when you're in a heightened flare of any autoimmune disease, because it's not going to make it better. But when your optimal candidate is when you're under control, everything's going well, your inflammation's down, because then your body can handle a little inflammation splurge. But if you're already super inflamed and we add that to it, you'll be miserable.
Yeah, your body's going to freak you out. So, okay. So we've talked about a couple of things. I'm pretty sure that I'm interested in checking out the deep laser, but like in October probably.
Yeah.
So for now, could I just do the lip line? So the lip line, I have really deep wrinkles. Could we do the laser on there? And then, I don't know, maybe try a little Botox. I'm like, and don't tell Kevin. Anybody watching this, if you know my husband,
don't tell Kevin.
Yeah.
No, I know. My husband said the
No.
same thing. He's like, "That's interesting. You're into this. You've never done any of that." And I'm like, "Have I not?" Oh, that's nice.
You know, some things we just have to keep to ourselves.
And you're
'cause,
welcome.
Yeah, that's right. Just
Yes.
look upon me and smile.
Yeah. I probably would do a little bit of Botox or even microneedling on that area before.
Okay.
But if I was going to do a full ablative laser, I would do the whole face because you can't do another ablative laser for 6 months to a year after you do it. I wouldn't suggest it.
Okay.
You want that full regeneration. You'll see immediate results within 2 to 3 weeks. But you will see your long-lasting full regenerative benefits in 4 to 6 months after a laser. So you won't even know all that you're getting out of that laser for months, which is a bummer because
You want it.
we like
We
that
all
instant
like that
gratification
instant.
of
Yes.
Botox.
Yes.
But the deeper the treatments that really fix your skin, you have to wait.
Yeah. Patience. We
Yeah.
have to have patience. So then, well, you know, when I'm doing that Serenova deal, but so can I do the microneedling all over my face? Like my in between my 2 weeks, and then just set that aside for a while and not do that again for a while, and do a medical grade and see what the difference is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the same as I said before, I think out of one treatment, you won't see the same effects as if you did a series of 3 back to back to back, because it's that constant injury, the depth of the injury into your dermis and regeneration. And one will give you a little bit, but depending on the age of your skin and how much it needs treated, people will be bummed if they buy one microneedling treatment and go home. They'll feel good, tight, feel a little bit better immediately, but as far as like the fine lines and wrinkles, I think.
Well, I already know I'm pretty much like
Consistency.
cowhide, so it would take 3, maybe 4 treatments. No, and then you come back and you get it again. When do you do another? Say you do 3 treatments.
Yep.
And then how long do you wait till you do your next one to keep up on your
Typical
schedule?
is twice a year.
Twice a
once
year.
every 6
Okay.
months. Yep.
Okay.
So
Well, awesome. Well, I think that that's what I would like to do. And so, guys, I think that we thought it would be fun. Maybe it was more me than you.
yes.
But I don't know.
I always think this
You're-
is fun. I
you're
learn
on
something
it.
with
Yeah.
everybody. Every person has different wants, different needs, and it's fun to just figure people out and try and give them just that, whatever it is, your youthful glow you want back. Try and get there.
Yeah, I love it. So we're gonna schedule an actual microneedling with her business that she works for, and then we'll actually video record a little bit of the process, and then we will update at some point about what results. So we'll probably do all 3 treatments, I would imagine, and then we'll come back and do another episode on what my first treatment did. So like I'm going to share my journey with you, my journey with Melissa on what I'm doing. And I did want to shout out that I love that you said stick with your person, because it's like your hairdresser. Like, you know, you
Good
get
comparison.
a good hairdresser, you want to keep going to that hairdresser. You don't want to go down to Joe Smo, the barber, and go decide on a whim to go try him out because he's got cheaper haircuts. Like, I want to go to the person that knows me, knows my skin, is figuring my skin out, is willing to work with me and my wants and my needs. That's worth, you know, even if somebody over here is offering a better deal, like it's worth it for this person to know me and know my skin and feel strong that I know I'm going to get that really good haircut, the one I love. Not some
And
barbershop.
she'll remember when she cut your bangs too short.
That's right. Exactly. So, all right. Well, thank you. Be looking for us again.
Yeah.
We're going to get back on and see how this all works out. I appreciate you
Perfect,
coming
yeah.
on.
Thank
this
you.
This
It was
was
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.
So, thank you guys and stay empowered.